Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah. If you're new here, I always do reality content. I film whatever I do in my everyday life, and today's topic will be family planning methods. Yeah, today we're going to talk about something very important because you need to plan your future. With this economy, everything is hiked. The price of everything is hiked. The eggs, the watch, the fuel, everything is just high. So we need to plan our life, we need to plan our future. And I'm going to be talking about family planning methods. So number one method that I'll talk about is condoms. Yeah, now everyone knows about condoms. I'm sure you know about it. Everyone knows about it. Like, if you've never heard of condoms, I bet you didn't go to class, to a biology class, or just to a sciences class or what, because everybody knows about it. So, condoms protect against STIs, that's sexually transmitted infections. They also protect against pregnancy, and it's the only family planning method that has dual protection. By dual protection, I mean that it protects against STIs and it protects against pregnancy. Yeah, so but that one you have to use it correctly. You know, some people usually say that it doesn't feel the same. My friend, even babies don't feel the same. Once you get them, they don't feel the same. Some people say I don't like it when they use condoms. My friend, even you won't like the cry of babies. They cry all night, my friend. If you're not ready for them, just use condoms. Number two method, we have the injections, the injectables, the injections. So the injections is either the Depo-Provera or the Cyana. Now with that one, you will get an injection here. Yeah, I'm sure most of you know it. Now you're injected here. If it's the Cyana brand, it's injected in the subcutaneous way. Then if it's the Depo-Provera one, it's IM, intramuscular. So that one is protects you for 3 months. For 3 months you just have peace of mind. This one is for those people who like, you feel that you are going to forget to take the pills if you're using the pills method, because also this the pills method. Yeah, so this injection depot, it has some side effects. Most people usually complain of not getting their periods anymore. Some people, once they start using the depot method, the injection for the 3 months, their periods just resigns, you just don't get them. But it's normal if you're using that method. And then another thing, if you're using the depot method, you're going to add weight. So if you're using the depot method and you don't want to add weight, you have to check on your diet. You have to reduce the amount of sugary things that you take, and then you have to be doing exercise, and then you get enough sleep. Like, you have to take care of yourself, you have to go to the gym. Otherwise you're going to add weight and you're not going to like it. All in all, if you don't want to get babies, you'll have to use it. Yeah, and then the third method, we have the pills method. Now these pills, you have to take the pills every day, same time, same energy, same commitments, because if you fail to take them, life will humble you. If you miss one day, life will humble you. Now for the pills, there are two types. There are COCs and PUPs. Now COC is the combined oral contraceptives. It has two hormones. It has estrogen and progesterone. Now this one, if you are a breastfeeding mother below 6 months, it's not advised for you to use the pills for the COCs, because it's going to reduce the effectiveness of your breastfeeding. Your breast milk is going to reduce. So COCs is mostly for mothers who their babies are 6 months and above, or any other woman in their reproductive age. Then the POPs is the progesterone only pills. Now this one, if you are 6 months and below breastfeeding, like your baby is 6 months and below, because you have to breastfeed exclusively, now you can use that one because it's not going to affect your breastfeeding. And then these pills, we have some contraindications for them, like you have history of clotting, blood clotting issues, that's DVT. If you have like DVT, deep vein thrombosis, or if you have high blood pressure, you are not supposed to use pills. Yeah, because it's going to affect you. Yeah, so if you go to the hospital, there are some things that are usually done. Your blood pressure is usually checked. Then we ask for your history so that you know which method is right for you. Now that one is for the pills, and remember you have to take the same time every day. And if you miss for one day, maybe you are supposed to take at 7 p.m, then like you remember like at 11 p.m, you should not miss. Just take that time, then the next day take the 7 p.m, the time that you are supposed to take. Then the other method is implants. Now the implants, we have two types. We have for the 5 years, that's implanon. The 3 we have for 3 years, that's implanon. And then we have for 5 years, that's jadel. Now that's implant. It's like a rod, like a rod. It's put here on your hand. Yeah, a cut is made and it's put inside in your hand. Now it will stay there for 3 years if it's implanon. And if it's jadel, it's going to stay there for 5 years. And for jadel, it's two rods. One rod, the rods are put like in a V way. One rod goes this way and the other rod goes this way. Then after 5 years, you are going to remove it. But it's usually advised, if it's going to affect you, even if it doesn't finish the 5 years, you can still go back to the hospital and remove it. And for it to be removed, a small cut will have to be made and the rods will be removed, but it's not usually painful, so don't fear to go for that method, because there is a numbing medicine that is usually injected before the cut is made, so you won't feel any pain. Yeah, so again I repeat, if you don't want to get babies, go for that method also. It's a long-term method, 3 years or 5 years. Then you have the natural methods. Now this one is for counting the safe days. You have to have your calendar, like you have to be following your calendar. You have to know your period cycle. When am I going to have my period? Is my cycle the regular cycle or the irregular cycle? Is it for 28 to 32 days, or is it for 21 days, the short cycle or the long cycle? Yeah, now this one I can talk about it in another video. If you want the video to explain how safe days are known, you just tell me in the comments. And then the other natural method, you also have the withdrawing method, my friend. That one is just you and your God and your everything. That one is like gambling. Yeah. For the men, I'm sure you know what withdrawing means. And even for the ladies, I'm sure you know what withdrawing is. Now that one is another method. But then you have to be extra careful, because if you just miss like this, the next minute you're googling baby's names that starts with letter A, my friend will have twins. I'm telling you, that one you should just pray before playing that game, my friend. And then now, for those who are done with babies, maybe you don't want other babies, maybe because of health issues, or because of like just you already have enough babies, or you just don't like babies or something. But I'm sure there's no one who doesn't like babies. Yeah, now we'll go for the permanent methods. Now for the permanent methods, we have two methods, one for the men and one for the women. Now for the men, we have the vasectomy. Now for the vasectomy, now your vas difference, your what, your your sperm duct is tied. The sperm duct is tied or cut. And then now if it's cut, now like you'll just have normal coitus. It will not affect your functionality, but the only difference will be that you want to get babies, because now the way that the sperms are supposed to follow for it to get out and go to the lady, it has been interrupted. So the testes will be producing their sperms, but it they'll have no way to get to the point of ejaculation or something like that. Yeah, so you'll be releasing only semen without the sperms, so you can't get someone pregnant. And if you do vasectomy, you have to take like 3 months abstaining. You have to abstain for 3 months for it to start working, because if you do today, then you go tomorrow, you know there are some sperms which are already on the other side of the sperm duct that are still there. Yeah, you can make someone pregnant, so you have to wait for 3 months before you continue with the coital act. And then for the ladies, we have tubal ligation. Now tubal ligation is for the ladies. Now the fallopian tube is tied or cut. Now even if the sperms enter the lady, they're not going to be fertilized. So the egg and the sperms, or rather the ovum and the sperms, they are never going to meet, and you cannot get pregnant if you have done tubal ligation. Yeah. And then the other method, which is not, it's not permanent, but it's a long-term method. I'd forgotten to say, I'm sorry for that. It's called IUCD. Now IUCD is intrauterine contraceptive device. Now it's like a small device that looks like a letter T. It looks like this. It's inserted into your uterus. And that one can last you 10 to 12 years. Yeah. So for the people who usually say like, I'm going to give birth again after 10 years, now this is the correct method for you. Yeah, like if you got your first child unplanned, you can use IUCD. It's also called coil. It's inserted into the uterus and it stays there for 10 to 12 years. And that one, it doesn't have hormones. It's hormone free. So it's not going to affect your periods or anything. Yeah, it's just there. But now this coil, before they insert it in your uterus, you have to test for the STIs. Yeah, because it's not good with infections. If you have infections, you have to treat the infections first before you use that method. Yeah. And then which other method? Yeah, there's also the emergency pills. Now the emergency pills, they are the postnatal pills. Postnatal pills are the P2s. That one everybody knows. Emergency pills or morning after pills. P2, everybody knows about P2. Now after coitus, people usually go and take the P2. But one thing you don't know about P2, you're not supposed to be taking P2 like every day. Like you have coitus today, you without protection, you go and take P2 today. Then again next week you go and take. Again the other week you go and take. The other week you go and take. My friend, when the time comes for you to get a baby, you'll cry for help. I'm telling you, that drug is not good for everyday use. That's why it's called emergency pill. It's emergency. Yeah, it's not like your daily breakfast, like you go and take every day, my friend. That's why it's better for you to use the other methods, the other long-term methods of family planning, other than the P2. The P2 is just like one, like if things went left, you go to the pharmacy, right? Yeah, for the P2. So like the most number of times you can use P2 is 2 times in a year. You can only use P2 2 times in a year. So if you've used P2 like 3, 4, 5, 6 times, my friend, you're messing with your uterus, you're messing with your fallopian tubes, you're messing with your ovaries, your ovums, your everything. You're messing with your reproductive system. And when it reaches a time for you to have babies, you're gonna cry for the babies, my friend. So that's all for today. I've talked about all the family planning methods. If there's one that you've not understood and you need clarification, just comment and I'm going to answer you in the comments. Yeah, and if there's anything else you want me to talk about, health wise or not health wise, just any other thing, just comment and I'm going to read your comments and I'm going to reply with a video. So yeah, if you liked this video, if it was educative to you, if it was funny to you, if I talked about the things that you feel are shameful, that people don't talk about, yeah, I'm a health worker. So those things are not shameful. Those are the normal things that we do in our daily lives, we do to people in our daily lives. So it's not shameful at all. So if you find this video interesting, make sure you like, you comment, you share, you subscribe, and you turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a video, you are right there and you're the first one to watch it. Yeah, that is all for today. And you can see I sell clothes. Other than being a health worker and all, yeah, I sell clothes in the meantime. I sell clothes in the meantime. In the meantime, I mean, cause yeah, with this economy, as I said earlier, we don't have jobs. Yeah, we don't have jobs. Like for me, I still don't have a job, but I'm still applying, and I am hopeful that one day I'll get a job. Yeah, but even if I don't get, whatever, bye. What is it called? T I T T M A T T T M I T M I. Too much information. Bye.